thought you could outrun me, did you? Spirits. And here I thought humans were supposedly smarter than this. Whew. You know, I usually try my best to advocate that your kind are, respectable creatures amongst my peers. However, you're not exactly helping my case here. Imagine what they'd say if they found out about this. I would get mouthed off even by the little ones. Yes, you can tell me all about how you curse me to the 9 hells and wish only the worst upon those I love, and etc., at a later time. Let's get you back to the main clearing and get these, leaves and branches out of your hair. Well, everything. Hey now, don't struggle too much. I get it, no one likes being detained, everyone wants to be the detainer, not the detainee. But as much as you loathe it, you've got to understand the concerns of my people and myself. You single-handedly raided our village of its most prized possessions. Artifacts we've spent millenniums collecting, heirlooms passed down from generation to generation. You've become quite the big deal back there. So, as lead watchman of the Rethalir village, it is my duty to handle any such scoundrels such as yourself. I do admit scoundrel is a bit too harsh. Does thief appease you more? Swine? Cheat? Or how about crook? Crook has a nice ring to it. I suppose I do seem a touch light-hearted given this whole situation. Even though I'm head watchman, I can never find it within myself to, take characters such as yourself seriously. It's just, you lot are so... what's the word? Determined. You do such bold things and assume you can just get away with it without any repercussions. Do understand, this land is vast and there are individuals of every kind walking on its soil. Someone, somewhere, is always going to catch up to you and be right at your heels. And in this instance, consider me that someone. No. Consider me your someone. Not exactly. I'm not always like this with everyone I come across. If someone is gravely injured, for example, I feel as though the light banter and jokes, well, they're probably best put aside. I'll admit, there were plenty of opportunities to hurt my people, and yet you avoided each chance like the plague. You stole, but you did not hurt. That's a damn sight respectable, if I do say so myself. Oh my, but I didn't realize how far we've gone from the village. You ran quite some distance for a human, an astonishing feat. What with that heavy bag of our belongings? Our belongings? Speaking of which, that reminds me, where are all of our belongings? You dropped it off by a tree. Somewhere around here. well, isn't that helpful? Search for a tree in the forest. It may have just been some traditional jewelry, knickknacks and shiny plants to you, but it does have value. I heard you even went so far as to steal some medicine. One that costs countless pieces of gold on the market. I know money talks louder than decency, but really? Stealing medicine for infernal bloom. Spirits. You've never heard of it? Well, it has a few different names depending on who you ask. Truly phenomenal. No one has ever seen anything like it. The long and short of it is, when someone falls deeply in love with another person, but that love is unrequited, their lungs start to grow flowers, and they begin coughing up flower petals. After that, they have about a week to confess to whom they love. And if they don't, well, you get the idea. They become lovesick. Although I never thought that word would have a literal meaning. It's quite popular around these parts. I suppose forest elves' connection to the land makes them immune to some things, yet fall prey to others. There's no known cure other than confessing, from what I gather. The medicine only helps with the pain, the side effects. Those include an intense burning sensation, blockage from the petals. Lastly, what was it? Reduction of pain caused by the thorns growing on the final days. Not the best feeling in the world, I assume. She's certainly a trooper for being able to hold back this long. The person whose medicine you stole. She's the ripe age of 345 and on her 5th day. Yet she still refuses to tell anyone who she's in love with. But, between you and me, I have a feeling it's the village chef. She refuses to tell him because, spirits, the embarrassment. I mean, he's got a wife. So, most she would get is a, "Oh, I'm sorry," or maybe a, "I'm married," because, he is. And maybe even a chuckle out of him. The old elf isn't exactly the most sympathetic in the world. That's right, she'd rather die than confess her love. But then again, that is love for you. I couldn't imagine having that sort of mindset. I mean, just confess. Cry about it. Get over it. The sickness could be handled so simply, but no. Here we are. You still have the medicine? And you'll give it back? Well, aren't you considerate? Wonder what's caused this change of heart, Crook? Now, what about that pot of gold's worth of jewellery? Our, knickknacks? If you're selective in your good deeds, then I suppose I will simply have to give you a tougher punishment for your actions. Well? There we go. That's what I thought. However, even though you're doing something so noble, you still need to face the repercussions. Don't expect to simply get off scot-free because I'm being nice to you. If it were anyone else, I'd probably have you beheaded and sacrificed to the local Solarians. So, as head watchman and voted the most trustworthy elf among the village, you're going to be held in my home for the time. Hey! Nothing too serious. It's nothing to squirm about. A crook. Why my house and not a cell? Well, you see, a tree may or may not have fallen on our former prison. You're acting like you want to be held in an enclosure without any sort of warmth. Not a fire in sight in the harsh winter night. I didn't know my company was that unbearable, though. Think of it as house arrest. But it's, at my house. You'll be kept there for some time. And though you didn't hurt anyone, theft is still a crime. The duration, well, that's for my parents, the village elders, to decide. Crook. That's something. I still don't know your name. So, I can't just stop calling you Crook, since I have nothing else to call you by. Never heard that name before. But it suits you. It's exotic. My name? You may call me Ornvir. Ornvir Hikrana, son of Judge Viron and Imeril Hikrana, the two former most trustworthy elves. Besides each other, my parents are practically married to the law. Oh, they'd hate you. But hey, maybe with a little persuasion from their dear darling Orny, I'm sure I can make them go easy on you. And that's only because you're willing to give everything you stole back. Now, keep on a lookout for that bag of yours. I don't want us to get too distracted and walk right past it. I'm guessing it's your simple brown sack type of bag. And we're in the woods. And there's a lot of brown everywhere. Well, how's this? We'll get you back, you'll stand trial, and, with a little Ornvir influence, we'll be on our merry way. I'd estimate about a month or two of house arrest. Oh, please, it won't be that bad. I'll just make you do a couple of chores around the house, and have you remain inside. Don't think I'd let you reside with me for free, oh no. Oh, and, any funny business, and I'll reconsider that beheading plan. Now, come on. We've a ways ahead of us. Crook. Script by Akaash. Script by Akaash.